He came up to the plate, and he did this again.
The big righty McGill sets on the mound. Here's the pitch. And Ohtani drives one, left center field. Did you? Gone! Shohei Ohtani, the stuff of legend!
All right. Nobody will be able to do this again because no pitcher leads off when you think about it. Shohei Ohtani striking out the side. Pitchers have done that in playoff games, but then they don't come to the plate as the leadoff batter. And they usually come to the plate as the number 9 hitter. But Shohei hitting 3 home runs, striking out 10. But you also have comparisons here. And it's hard to do it. It's hard to compare because it's not really apples to apples here. Because I was at the Reds game at Riverfront Stadium in 1971, June of 71, when Rick Wise threw a no-hitter, and he also hit 2 home runs. That's pretty incredible. Now, it wasn't a playoff game, but it was a no-hitter and 2 home runs. So that's on the list. Bob Gibson, who is one of the most underrated pitchers, I think, in history. God, that guy was unbelievable. Dominant, tough. The World Series, where Game 7, I think he struck out 12 and hit a home run in a World Series clinching win. Went the distance, I'm sure. Tony Cloninger, he hit 2 grand slams in a game as a pitcher. So there are moments like that, but most of your pitchers are not, getting the opportunity. Well, nobody gets this opportunity that Ohtani did. Is it the greatest game in baseball history? Considering it was a clinching game, playoffs, you strike out 10, you hit 3 home runs. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. And it's one of those where you go, I think I've seen everything, too. I haven't seen everything. As long as he's playing, and people will bring up Babe Ruth. I mean, Babe Ruth pitched 1 game in the World Series, I think, where he went 15 innings. And then he had a base hit to win the game. I mean, nobody's going 15. They barely go 5. So you could put Babe Ruth in there, but Babe was the best pitcher in baseball and then stopped pitching. He had like 92, 93 wins in his career, and then he started hitting. And if he was playing, today, be weird to see him playing today. But if he was pitching and hitting, then he would probably give similar results. But what you saw with Ohtani, it's incredible. And to see the pitches he was throwing. And he's throwing 100, but he's throwing nasty breaking balls. And that's what's scary to whoever's going to play the Dodgers. That pitching staff has been unbelievable. Bullpen, not so much, but that starting pitching has been wonderful. And Ohtani, when he came to the plate, I thought, I wonder if they're going to pitch to him again. Boom. I said, yeah, well, they did. He hit it out of Dodger Stadium. I think Willie Stargell's the only other guy that might have done that. So I want to give you context of greatest games of all time if you include a pitcher and what he did hitting. And it's not to diminish anybody. It's not to single out and say that's the greatest of all time. It's happening right now, so recency bias with that. But we'll never see something like that again. I can't imagine seeing something. And by the way, what was lost on a lot of people is Ohtani had the lowest batting average of all the Dodgers starters. He wasn't playing well at all. First 3 games, not playing well at all. And even, the whole playoffs has not been hitting well. I think under 200. That's what was surprising is, okay, all right, he's back. And then all of a sudden, he's really back. Oh, my God, he's back. And then you strike out 10. But just to give you context, by the way, sitting when your team, so I had Bench and Rose. Now, it wasn't the big red machine. Now, they did have Concepcion, Bench, Rose, Perez. George Foster just got there in a trade, I think, from San Francisco. They didn't have Joe Morgan, but still got no hit. I went to 2 no-hitters that year against the Reds. Ken Holtzman of the Cubs. And you're sitting there and you're going, we better get a base hit here soon. And then all of a sudden, Ken Holtzman throws a no-hitter. So the Reds were no-hit twice in 1971. And I'm at both of them. Yeah. both of those no-hitters were in the month of June. That's all I remember. And I had bad seats. I was in right field for Kenny Holtzman, and I was up the first base line for Rick Wise. Yes, Todd.
June 23rd, 1971, Rick Wise at age 25, the no-hitter and 2 home runs at Riverfront against the Reds.
And I think he had Adidas baseball shoes on. Like they were maroon Adidas. You know, I thought he had 3 stripes. So for some reason. Yeah, Paulie.
Does the emergence of Ohtani help or hurt Babe Ruth's legacy? I'm not sure the answer on that. We're talking about him more.
Yeah.
But he's also getting dinged that, Ohtani's doing what only one other guy ever did, really, at the highest level.
But it's not a comparison because Babe wasn't pitching and hitting at the same time. Now, you can say when he was pitching and he got 4 at-bats, how many times did he hit 3 home runs in a game? I guess you could make that comparison. But Babe is going to end up probably with more wins than Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Babe, is it 92 or 93 wins? I think that might be the number there. To throw in with the hitting, the home runs, the batting average. But you're talking about, a legacy here. You're talking about one of those iconic, boy, I was there and I got to see that. I can't imagine what it was like when Babe Ruth was playing. But you didn't have the advent of TV. It was radio. It was word of mouth. And you're just like, oh, my gosh, this guy. I remember thinking he must be 6'5". And he wasn't. Babe was probably 5'10", 5'11", 215, which is, as Tim Kirchin pointed out, he's about the same size as Rich Aurelia. And I go, oh. Because you look at Babe and you go, he's the biggest guy I've ever seen. He's King Kong. Yes, Todd.
And 215 is hard to believe because you hear all these stories, true or not, that he'd be eating several hot dogs right before a game. There's all these wild stories about how much he's consuming before and during games.
Yes, Paulie.
If you go back and look at it, Babe Ruth was semi-ordered to stop pitching because the Yankees didn't want to pay the double salary that he may have deserved. It was a financial decision. But in the postseason, Babe Ruth had 3 starts, all in the World Series. He was 3-0, 3 complete games, a .87 ERA.
Yeah.
Spotless.
Yeah. But interesting that you can be the best pitcher. Imagine if that was happening. You're the best pitcher, but we want you to quit and be the best hitter in the game. But Ohtani's able to do both. And credit to him. It's fascinating to watch. And I think when he first started, I kind of looked at him like I did Bo Jackson. I'm like, God, how great would he be if he just did football with Bo Jackson or just did baseball? But that made him special. Ohtani, if he was just a hitter, how great would he be?